Freezing temperatures and yet more snow have caused disruption across the region today. There have been around 2,000 schools closed. We'll have a report on that later. There's been disruption at the region's airports. Norwich was closed for a while this morning but then reopened. Stansted and Luton are open, but some flights are delayed or cancelled. On the trains, there have been delays and cancellations on National Express services, the Stansted Express and the East Coast Main Line. There's severe disruption on First Capital Connect with a much reduced service from 7:30 tonight. And on the region's roads tonight, driving conditions remain difficult. The emergency services have reported a rise in calls. Here's our chief reporter, Kim Riley.
The scene that many of us woke up to, fresh snow falling on top of ice in the Norfolk village of Barford. Dog walkers still out in force. Anyone who could stay home, though, did just that. For those that did brave the roads, conditions were treacherous, traffic moving very slowly on the A47. This slip road at Coney lived up to its name. Not a steep incline, but enough to cause chaos.
I can't go for a checkup at the hospital. I'm 38 and a half weeks pregnant and trying to get up the hill to get to the hospital.
It's all right if you keep moving, but once you stop, that's it, you're stuck.
They were looking for a roadside hero. Enter the man with true grit.
Been very busy. Going flat out since 3 o'clock this morning. Non-stop, basically. Now going back to the yard to reload to start again.
In Ipswich, rush hour traffic was much lighter than usual. It remained very icy underfoot, but the mail was still getting through.
Yo, the Royal Mail goes every rain, shine, sleet or snow. We're on the road. It's all right for me, because I'm always chilling.
Train travellers weren't so chilled. There were delays on the East Coast route through Peterborough, on National Express East Anglia, and disruption on London Midland and Virgin services due to circuit failures and frozen points.
So you just get a small powder coating of snow and everything comes to a standstill. We're not prepared for situations like this.
I work part-time, so whatever days I go in, I'm totally flexible, so I'll go in tomorrow instead.
Many drivers have spun off the road in the icy conditions. Lee Henchy ended up in a ditch beside the A509 at Milton Keynes.
When it happened, it wasn't too bad, but when I got out of the car, I started to shake. Like I tried to ring the AA and my hands started shaking as I was doing it. Just shock, really. I wasn't expecting it.
It can all look very pretty. This was Wyndham Abbey this morning, but also potentially very dangerous. At Whitlingham Country Park, the warning to the public, keep off the ice. Kim Riley, BBC Look East.
More schools were closed today than at any other time during the recent cold snap. Around 2,000 across the region, with the main areas affected Essex, Suffolk, Norfolk, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire and Milton Keynes.
You might not expect to find schools open in the depths of the countryside on a day like today, but we're off to one of the smallest in Suffolk, at Monks Ely.
Well, we've made it into the village itself, but the car didn't negotiate the hill. The primary school is just up there, so the rest of it is on foot.
When we do arrive, it's lunchtime. Normally meals are supplied by a neighbouring school, but with that shut, staff and parents have prepared them, and the children are loving both the food and the big freeze.
I've had peaches, bread and rice pudding. I put a snowball down Katie's neck.
We're tending to go to bigger schools, and small schools can be under threat. And we want to say there's something really special a bit about being in a small village school and the community spirit.
There are 350 schools in Suffolk today, just over 90 were open.
I can understand people are concerned when schools are closed, naturally, but in the end, head teachers have to make a decision about whether it's safe to keep a school open on a day like today or the days we've had recently. So for them, the safety of children and staff would be paramount.
In Norfolk, most schools shut, just 50 were open. One of them was Flegborough Primary, where children use snowmen to help their studies, measuring things like height and circumference.
I think every single day is precious in education, and today, because the children are just so motivated, it just makes learning much more easy for them and much more memorable.
In Essex, Great Baddow High in Chelmsford was among those which shut, although the head there believes the system needs to change.
A couple of years ago, I was the only school around here to be open. All my staff are saying, why am we open when the rest are not? The children are then saying, everybody else has got a holiday, why have we got to come in? And it's a really difficult position that it puts you in.
It's a tough call, but many could have to do it all again tomorrow. Kevin Birch, BBC Look East.
So that's the big picture, but how does a small community cope with these conditions? We've been to a village in Suffolk to find out. Cratfiled is remote, on top of a hill, and it's had 4 inches of snow today. Jonathan is there now. Jonathan.
Yes, Susie, welcome to Cratfiled. Population 299. No village shop, but there is a pub. It's called the Poacher. Let's take you inside now. It's typical to many villages in rural areas that they've been affected very badly by the snow. Now, geography-wise, just to tell you where we are, we're nearest town is Halesworth. If that's still not good enough for you, we're halfway between Ipswich and Norwich, about 28 miles from both places. Now, supplies are difficult here. Getting in and out has been difficult as well. The fishmonger hasn't made it here today, so there's no fresh fish on the menu tonight. It's a busy pub, mind. But the brewery did make it with their delivery, so there's beer behind the bar, which is always a good thing in a pub. Let's have a chat to landlord Roger Harrison. Roger, how badly has your business been affected? Looking at the trade tonight, not very badly.
No, I think people have got fed up with staying in, Jonathan, actually, but it has been affected because, I mean, as you said, I think in your introduction, there's only 300 people here. We can't live out of that. We have to attract people into Cratfiled, and I can't blame them for not driving 3, 4 and 5 miles from Fressingfield and Laxfield, especially when they think, well, it might be worse when they try and get home. So we have taken a knock, but, you know, we shall survive.
And in terms of your day-to-day running, you've had some niggly problems, haven't you?
Oh, the awful things. I mean, our cellar floods, it's a 300-year-old building. It doesn't matter, we've got a pump and a sump. The pump still works, but the piping's frozen. So I'm down there bailing out like a ship's messenger boy, you know. And it's such a nuisance. It's the little niggly things that annoy.
Customers, let's have a quick chat to another customer here. Jack, come to me, please. Jack's sad. Now, Jack, evening. You're in the construction business.
Well, yeah.
It must have been tough for you recently.
Yeah, but got made redundant. Now we're supposed to start landscaping. Monday, and we can't because of snow.
When do you think you're going to get back to work?
As soon as the snow has gone. For a bit of luck.
And the ice?
And the ice, yeah. So a bit of luck, another couple of weeks we'll be back again.
But you're in here enjoying yourself and making the best of the situation.
Yeah, we've got a good pub in the village, so put up with it.
Right, Jack, well, enjoy the night tonight. It's quiz night, actually, here tonight, and I was worried about how many people would be able to make it for the quiz night, but as you can see, there's lots of people here, so I don't think there'll be a problem. Let's just hope the questions are easy for the people to take part in tonight. Back to you, Susie.
Thanks, Jonathan. So, what fell when? Here's Jules.
Well, Susie, Norfolk and Suffolk yesterday escaped the worst of the snowfall, but today they've seen some of the heaviest. This is the radar sequence since 5 o'clock in the morning, showing the course of the snow showers, how they fell, and actually Essex and Cambridgeshire got to see some large amounts too. Now, what we're going to see over the next few hours and into tomorrow is more snowfall, and as we head into the weekend, well, these northeasterly winds will continue to feed in air from the Baltic states, and what they're also going to do is freshen up, so it's going to feel even colder. I'll, of course, have all the details after more news from where you live.